me is the fact, okay,
So, just thinking. So if they're able to dissolve our committee, and the money, as I understand that, the majority voted for to put in these PACs and the Republican Women's Committee and Tea Party, the ones that they want to, or the ones that we put in the PACs, if the committee's dissolved, aren't we supposed to vote on where that money goes? So where does that money go? Does it just stay with the conduit action, or?
I think it has to stay where it is right now because it was acted on legally at that time.
Right, but then what? Like, because if we can't use it and they can't do anything without our vote.
Well, there'll be a committee unless they dissolve it now.
That's what I'm asking. If our committee's dissolved.
When they dissolved Saline County, am I correct in saying they took their money?
Who is they? Conduit?
No, the Republican Party of Arkansas.
What?
Yeah, I believe the RPA receives the funds.
That's what I
Yeah,
thought.
but it's now in a
But
PAC. It's not in a
It wasn't
personal
in
PAC. That's what I'm saying, but ours is in a PAC.
Yes.
So it should be protected from the RPA and those other
Theoretically would
powers.
say that until the
Change
committee
those
is
rules.
reconstituted, and at that time, I would imagine they would have access to the funds by just contacting conduit.
So it's just gonna be a savings account for right now.
Well, your words, not
Maybe.
mine.
You talking about the money that's still left in CCRC, or you talking about the money that's been
I'm talking about
spent?
The
the
money
money.
that's in a PAC is in a PAC. That was the majority of the money, but $21,000 and something, I think, is the money that's still in the Republican committee, CCRC.
Because you have
Right,
to have
which
it
hasn't
used.
been earmarked for anything.
No,
That's not what Joseph Wood's wanting. Joseph Woods is wanting his money back that
He's on the
the
60
Tea Party
now.
and Women Republican.
Correct.
he's wanting
And conduit, yeah.
$60,000 back. out of the
Every
PAC.
one of them people that signed that complaint,
Mhm.
they didn't earn a dime.
They didn't
got
what?
CCRC earn a dime.
That's correct.
But Iris, I got a
Too
question.
worried about it.
Yeah, that's called social.
Loggins has no
Never needed
clout. Who is actually really behind this?
Okay,
Because
what
Tim
I
Loggins is a bully. He'll walk around with his pistol, but I guarantee you, he won't back it up. So who is
Okay,
it? And
I
y'all
just-
can tell Tim Loggins, Darrell Cook said this about him. Because I'm not scared of anybody. But I want to know who is backing Tim. Because Tim, the thing about it is, when Tim first come in, him and Barry was buddies. And Roger Kidd was buddies. I mean, they were big buddies. Tim did not want me, he cheated for me to lose to Bobby Long. So what happened who peed in his post toasties, and who is really behind the law?
I think Tim utilized the RPA. I think he went straight and got information from people
But why
close
is,
to them.
but
Those
why is
people
a
that
county
really
judge
elect-
and a county sheriff and all these people that's hold pretty high offices, all JPs but two, who is backing?
You're
Loggins?
asking what's the reason?
What's the, well, I know the
Shift in
reason.
Well,
power
who is
for
it?
one thing.
Well, it's power, but who put Loggins up to? And of course, they didn't run Loggins this time. They ran our state rep because they thought he had a better chance.
Which I
But
still think
Darryl-
is illegal.
Darryl, Kim has been in the committee 2 years, it was 2 years in May, this May.
That was my question. What gave him so much clout in 2 years?
No, but you should see
He
his
took
look
it.
whenever the money
And,
was
you know, he got
discussed
thrown
that
out of
day.
gun owners.
He went,
Well, that's
Yes.
beside
Yeah, you're wanting a names of who's handling it, like who's operating a lot of this?
Who's behind this?
Okay, well, I have some. One is, of course, the lady that was whispering in his ear, Jonelle Fulmer. She was a former party chair. She was the one who hired the police to go after folks in Pulaski County. Joseph Wood, of course, the RPA chair, he has a hand on this. Another guy is a consultant named Chris Caldwell. In the convention before last, he was the one who sabotaged the Pulaski County district, the convention process will reach host delegates to the state convention so that they can then say our convention wasn't held correctly and then use the police to kick us out. Another person is Melanie Gullick. She was also in part of that. She was the former second district chair. She was kicked out by, and we elected Jennifer Lancaster over her in second district. Drew Martin, he's been a part of this. Another guy's Rusty Jackson of the Republican Party, YRs. That group is totally corrupt. There was a group called the Greater Saline County Young Republicans, and conservatives tried to take over that election. And what they did is they had a secret credentialing committee that decided that some of these conservatives weren't credentialed. And so they took their money but didn't allow them to vote. That's on video as well. There's probably some other operatives off the top of my head. Of course, all of this is to keep organizations in power that are ruining the state. The Arkansas Chamber of Commerce, which if you don't know by now, is an evil anti-Trump, anti-American organization. They have been for years. They literally joined the ACLU in defending the right to mutilate children in the SAFE Act. Yep. Randy Zook.
I would like to make two
So, I'm not as strong as y'all may. I've spoken in front of this group and all over the state. When I got back from Belinda, I was a cyber symposium nerd, but I'm the paper ballot guy. But I'll tell you what I've seen last 3 years. Not only last year, attended the 2 RNC meetings in Vegas and Houston, and I was a listening ear there. I'm also a delegate to the RNC convention, and there's some people in this room, I'm going to name them, but I told them when I got back from there, I said, they're coming after you, because I was privy to some conversations where the establishment was pissed at the MAGA people, and it was state level down. And I actually, 3 or 4 people in this room, I've told them, I said, beware. So it's come to fruition. But I will tell you, and I've always coined several things on my Facebook. If you want to know why people do what they do a lot of times, especially if they're elected, follow the money. If you want to know why Jack Layman does what he does, or Johnny Wright, go look up their financials. Sarah SHS PAC funds them fully. They're beholden. So, and the other one is, I always say, and I might be able to lose my membership over this, it's always the elected versus the people.
Yes.
And there are Republicans, you may call us rhinos, establishment, but not only in Arkansas are you having this battle, it's going on in all these other states, Missouri, Nebraska, even at the RNC level. You got Trump up there, you better pray for this guy.
Yes.
Now luckily he's got a lot of people with him, but if we don't win this fight, you're not going to like what this country's going to look like. And I'm talking about under a Republic. Think about 2006 when machines first come in Arkansas. We were about 90% Democrat, like we're 90% Republican now. Well, actually, you're 90% optional. That's why they have open primaries. They don't want you declaring a party. But you're going to see, if we don't win this battle in Trump, paper ballots ain't going to happen unless it comes from the federal level down. Without paper ballots, you're not going to ever have elections that are fair anywhere. Just watch what happens in South Korea, South Korea tomorrow. And Dominion Machines runs that. But not getting back on the paper ballots, but I'm going to tell you, it's a struggle of maybe you call it grassroots, but it's truly MAGA versus everybody else.
Yes.
MAGA versus the
I just
state.
want to clarify something, because I don't want to get sued. I said Tim got thrown out of gun owners. He got removed from the board. I don't know if he got thrown out of gun owners, but he did get removed from the board.
Yeah, and the thing is Tim Loggins, in the long run, he's basically being used. I mean, we have a complainer in Pulaski County. Her name's Teresa Below, and she does the same thing. Almost every meeting, gets up, yells about something, and right there, Jonelle Fulmer, she's a member of the committee. She whispers in her ear, giving her instructions on what to say. And we've had handouts at our meetings too. And they're being used. And the thing is like in Saline County, it ended up dissolving the whole committee. That wasn't even the original complaint. It was just some complaints that were done regarding some of the chairs, but they use it to just get rid of the whole thing. So even if Tim Loggins had won the chairmanship, it wouldn't have amounted to anything. They don't care. All they care about is kicking and keeping conservatives out of power so they can. All they really want at this point is for conservatives to be nothing but free votes and to sucker them into volunteering their time and money.
Well, yeah, MAGA. Like, okay, I went to the inauguration, and Joseph Wood and some of the other people were sitting in the room, and they were wearing their Make America MAGA hats. And it's like 4 years ago, you guys were the same people when we were saying the election was stolen. You were calling us tinfoil hats. Yeah. You were bashing Trump and saying he caused January 6th. I'd like to ask you, ma'am, I don't know your name, but
Wendy.
So do you like President Trump?
I love President Trump.
So how would if President Trump were sitting in this room right now, what would he think about you signing that? Would he, because now remember, he's had rules and laws weaponized against him by the Democrat Party. Okay, he's been lied about, we've had Russia, we've had all this other stuff that they made up about him that, you know, he denied at the time, and then we found documents and things that proved that. So he were sitting in this room right now, and he saw the same documents we saw, and saw dates and things like that. What would he think about your behavior? How is it any different than the Democrats that targeted him?
I can't respond because Miss Iris said she didn't want you people to talk, so I'm just.
Well, their presentation's over.
Okay, let me ask you a question, Lori.
Okay.
Lori,
No, I mean, that's fine. So what would President Trump think about you
I was
weaponizing?
showing my shirt.
Huh?
I was showing my shirt.
Oh, you were showing your shirt, okay.
Showing your bra.
That's great, I like your shirt, but I'm MAGA, and I like Trump, and I don't believe in targeting.
I got 3 MAGA. I got it.
That's great, so does
Break it into the Capitol.
Guys, just because you have a hat or a shirt, doesn't mean that you're a Donald Trump fan. It's what you vote for.
That's
what you
great,
stand for.
again, so that's not my question, that's not my question, okay? I have a MAGA shirt too, but what do you think about the principle? Well, I'll ask you then, what would you think? What would he think if he were in here, that you signed a complaint with all these made-up things and dates prove that they're not true, and backdating and like retroactively punishing people for stuff like that, just like basically how the Democrats treated Trump? What would he say to you if he were sitting in this room right now?
First off, I would read him the rule. The rule says that if it's not written in your bylaws, you don't lose the right to vote.
That's not what I asked you.
Well,
I asked you about